So, here we go. Go live. Boom. Done. Ready. And going live. And we're live. And hit it. Go. Yeah. What you know about this right wing hip hop? Right wing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yo, Trump's my man. Put it in my hand. I'm gonna eat a ham. Take that to the bank. Man, you stink. Your shit is rank. Don't think. I don't know. I'm not black. I can't rap very well. You know, they say they say you may not be black, but you're Asian from the waist down. I'm not waiting on the countdown. I don't care because I'm waiting on an important phone call right now, everybody. Very, very important phone call from a federal inmate from the BOP. If you don't know what that is, the Bureau of Prisons. But they try to make it all fun. They're like, the BOP, the FBOP, Federal Bureau of Prisons, the FBOP. I had an insane week and big things. Big things. I went on a secret mission to the South. And I can't talk about what I did there just yet. It's still a secret mission, of which the objective was achieved, but you're not allowed to know that yet because it's G13 classified. With me today, as usual, Stovey, Stover Love, Stove Taters.
Stovey One Kenobi.
Stovey One Kenobi.
All the stoves.
I'm gonna so get in trouble for that from the real Stove Taters. But you know what though, dude? At the same time, it's like, hey, maybe don't get a name that you think is so ridiculous nobody else is gonna have, but then somebody else has a name strikingly similar. It's just
without even trying.
Yeah, without even trying. Like you said, you were like Lady Gaga. You were born this way, you know. But what she meant by that was homosexual. Now, I interviewed Lady Gaga. A little bit before she got famous. And I actually asked her, do you believe gay people are born gay? And she said, no, not all. But she said that there probably is a shocking amount of people that actually were not born gay, but after being molested, they tended to lean towards homosexuality. And I said, you know, I've heard that, Lady Gaga. And she goes, yeah. And then after that, she goes, but hey, subject change. I think I'm about to get a really big record deal pretty soon. And I was like, that's pretty sweet. And I'm like, no, she's not. She sucks. Then I didn't hear from her again for years. And I was watching football a few Super Bowls ago. And she was at the Super Bowl. And I go, hey, that's the gay molestation baby lady. And she did a really good job. I was surprised. It looked like she wasn't even lip syncing. Which, not to go off on a tangent, but why do they say lip syncing? Why don't they just call it lip singing? Like you thought was the actual word when you were a kid. Stovey, go.
I thought that's what it was.
I did too, till I was 27. 27 years young.
How'd you remember that?
You always remember those things from when you were a kid where you're like, oh, I thought this was that. Until I found out it wasn't. And like, I'll never forget that because it was such a shocker at the time. Because you're like, I've been saying that wrong my entire life.
Short of it being on my birthday, I wouldn't remember how old I was when I learned it. So that's just the brilliance of Villeneuve, I guess.
Yeah, there's another thing I've been saying wrong my entire life. I didn't know this, but it ends in what they call a hard R. Oh. And I was like, what? I've been saying that wrong the entire time?
Well, you know, what's the difference between stover and stove taters? A hard R.
Yeah, hard on. Have you seen that guy? He just walks around with a boner all the time. Killing time here, everybody. Killing time as we wait on a phone call from a federal political prisoner from the J6 meandering fiasco. The photo takers and tourists, also known as domestic terrorist insurrectionists, waiting on that call. Let me explain how it works when you're in the system, when you're in the Huskow, At night, the line starts kind of backing up for the phones. There's only a limited amount of phones, and you are allowed to talk on that phone for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and then you must hang up the call. Well, it hangs it up for you. There's nothing you can do about it. Then you can get back in line again and then attempt another 15 minutes later on. So this is where we're at as we're waiting. Nick DeCarlo is in line currently waiting on the phone to open up so he can call into the show and fill us in on what prison time is like for a political prisoner. Now, I've talked to him a few times through email correspondence, and I got to say, luckily for him, it's not one of those, I guess, if anyone's familiar, it's not one of those Joe Biggs situations where they're taking a veteran with PTSD that fought in multiple foreign illegal American wars and had like a lot of psychological issues because of it, and then locking him in a dank cell and essentially torturing him through sensory deprivation for over a year before his trial even began, which I know it sounds like, what, in America? Yes, in America, that's what they do. The evidence is there. This has happened to a lot of people from January 6th. Yeah, all your rights and stuff right out the window for taking a unsanctioned tour of the United States Capitol on the wrong day, that day being January 6th. So as we wait for that phone call, Stover, did you have anything to go over today while we wait on this phone to hopefully ring? We're going to stay on longer than normal if we need to wait on this phone call, but after a certain amount of time, we will have to give up. But stand by. This is scheduled. It is supposed to happen, but it's not at a specific time. It's just sometime after 7 o'clock, which it's now 7:07. What do you got to kill some time, bud?
Well, we might be a little behind on this news cycle, but did you hear President Joe Biden
died?
He got a physical, and I guess like he's running, the mile under 5 minutes. He's doing like 100 pull-ups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I heard he's just fucking interns, dude. Just going crazy. Guy, they say he's like a 20-year-old.
He knows where he's going all the time. Like he's not just walking in a direction.
They said his dick still works. Hey, here we go. Are y'all ready for this?
He's here.
Here we go.
Call is from a federal prison. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from...
Sounds perfect.
Nicholas DeCarlo.
Oh, he sounds so sad.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time.
Yeah.
To accept
same on this
call,
end.
Press 5.
You could turn it up a little.
Call, in all future calls, press 7. You may begin speaking now.
Oh,
hey.
So he finally answers.
I know, right? Well, when you call people, I hear that the number doesn't say federal prison inmate. Nick DeCarlo. It's just a weird number.
I don't know.
Yeah. So we're testing your levels right now, and we think that they're good. So
right,
can you confirm? Okay.
Can confirm. He sounds really, really good.
We have 15 minutes. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to tell us? We got a lot of people watching today. It's a very popular topic, and people want to know what is going on with somebody that's inside a federal prison as a political prisoner from the January 6th unsanctioned tour.
Where do I begin? So, the weirdest thing about being in here is I'm not meant to be in here. I got to say this carefully because it was all around me. But you talk to anyone, I'm done asking people like what they're in for, because it's always guns or drugs or both, or if they look like they got that really weird gene, that really weird physiognomy. They're in here for grappling.
Oh yeah.
But
I didn't know that was a federal offense.
Huh?
I didn't know that was a federal offense. Oh, you mean grabbling like white collar stealing people's money through banking and stuff and fraud?
Oh, no. I meant something I can't mention. I guess I could say chomo. I don't know.
Oh, chomo. Yeah, I didn't think that child molestation was a federal crime. In fact, I thought that the federal government actually encouraged child molestation, rape, and mutilation.
It might have to do with like kiddie porn and like stuff over states and whatnot. That's when it becomes federal. But
yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
like
it's odd. Same thing with my celly, old Rocky. I'll call him.
Okay.
Yeah, like we're we're not good prisoners. We're not meant for this. It's fucking weird. Everyone else in here is very hard to deal with, very hard to talk to.
Hardened criminals, maybe? Is that what you're saying?
What?
Are they kind of like hardened criminals? Like they've taught themselves not to laugh at jokes and stuff? They just stare at you like...
No, they just laugh at shitty jokes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, and it's the same joke every time. And I'm like, you've been in here this long and you couldn't think of new material? Like, come on. I'm thinking of new ideas every fucking day in here.
Yeah, dude, you got nothing but time and a pen and paper. I'm sorry. You have nothing but time and a short golf pencil and a piece of paper. There's a joke right there, you dummy.
Right. That was just pulled out of your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... let's see. Other than that, it ain't too bad. I mean, 15-minute phone calls, those suck. Lack of visitation, being limited to one day because of COVID, that kind of sucks. COVID really, I heard COVID was the worst period in prisons here. Like when the government actually believed in it and was still pushing the rules. Not now, where they still push the rules, but they're like,
now they just use it to be inconvenient to you.
Right.
You're like, hey, I haven't eaten in 2 days. They're like, COVID. And you're like, damn it, with this COVID excuse.
Like, we don't really believe in it, but going back to the other way would require work.
Yeah, just like Popeyes, they're still blaming COVID for why they won't open the lobbies or have chicken ready when you get there.
Right.
They're like, COVID. And you're like, that's not true. Churches is open right now, right down the street. They have chicken.
To describe my setting, all the walls are cement. Sometimes there's fake drop ceilings that are like an eighth of an inch thick that are used for hiding spots for things. Let's see. The cells are pretty small. This place used to be an insane asylum, and they were originally one-man cells with doors. Then they crammed 2 people in there. Some of them they crammed 3, and then they took the doors off. And there's no privacy.
They put 3 people in there, and then they got rid of the doors and walled it up. They're still in there to this day.
Some say you can still hear them clawing at the walls. They are literally in my walls. They're in my walls. They're in my walls.
Some might say you could still hear them feverishly jerking off in the middle of the night.
Let's see. Rec yard's pretty cool. I got to hit the weight pile, and then like an hour after, my unit got put on rec restrictions. So it just is until further notice we won't get it back. So who knows when I'll be able to lift weights again.
And did they say why that was? Was that also COVID, or do they do that when there's like rumors of things happening?
I've heard rumors. It's because they found 80 gallons of hooch in a bathroom wall. I don't know. I don't know.
You're like
the whole unit for that.
You're like they found 80 gallons of 78 gallons of hooch in the wall.
Most of my day is.
This call is from a federal prison.
Thank you. Had no idea. Most of my day is spent sharing my tablet with old Louis Rockefeller and. Us verbally explaining memes we used to enjoy.
Oh, that must be nice. A little nostalgia.
Remember that one with Patrick Bateman, and he's walking, and that song plays. Yeah, that's most of our day.
You're like, you remember all the ones with the frogs? You remember the frog ones?
Remember those frog guys?
What was his name? Popeye?
They were the best.
Pee-pee?
The meals, it's really weird, and I'm not the only one who noticed this, so it's not like the allure of the prison kitchen or mainline chow lost on me after time. Like, no, the food was pretty good, like the first week I was here, and then it just sucked.
The old bait
and
and
it has
switch.
since. Yeah, but no, everybody else noticed it too. People have been here for years. They're like, no, it definitely like went down in quality. Budget cut or something.
Wouldn't that be horrible if like a rumor got started and they were like, the government hates this guy so much they sabotaged all of our food just to make him miserable, but now we're all miserable. This place wasn't so bad before this guy got here.
Some of the COs are all right. Those are prison guards, by the way. COs.
Do you call them screws?
Call them what?
Do you call them screws?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, typically it's hello, officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We don't want to cause a hard time here. I know it's funny. It's fun to make the joke. What are you gonna do? I'm already in prison. No. There's prison in prison.
Oh yeah. And I heard this too. Maybe you can confirm if this is true or not. There's also prison after prison, meaning if, let's say you got a year in prison and you keep messing up, they can be like, hey, guess what? You get another one now.
Yeah. And then when I get out of here, it'll be a halfway house, but those are all full. Very weird. I don't know why there's so many inmates, so many prisoners. It's like there's money involved in this. But the halfway houses are full, so they send you to home prison. So your home becomes a prison. And that'll be another year for me after my 2 years here of good boy time. I mean, house arrest is arguably going to be fucking paradise compared to this.
Yeah.
But, yep, and then 3 years on paper, and then, yep. Every day is the same. I'm starting to forget what day I'm on, but I think I'm on 41 days.
Now, is that kind of like similar to when you're at work and you forgot to look at the clock for a while, and then when you do look, you're like, hey, it's 3 o'clock. I thought it was only 2:30.
Yes, it's just like that. If your work shift is 2 years long, it's the exact same thing.
So speaking of work shift, do you got a job yet or anything? Like, do you have to get a job? How's that work?
They want me to. It'll give me more time credit, but I don't want to work with those Gradley people I mentioned. And then also, I don't know, I think I might wait for something to open up in the chapel, which is like the, it's a chapel. It's a big multi-church.
Right.
Religious building. The library's full of them. Kitchen's full of them. I don't want to do construction. I get heat stroke real easy, and I'm already half retarded from the last two I had. So
it's almost like there's an epidemic of pedophiles in this country.
Yes, and they're here because they can't put them higher or lower.
Oh, they go to those types of places. Can't put them at a minimal
because there's a risk of them leaving because there's no walls. Can't put them at a medium because they'd probably not exist anymore.
Oh, so that's how so many of them like go in and get out, and they seem like you always hear certain things happen to certain people in certain places. I won't say who those people are or where those places are, but you go, I don't know. There sure are a lot of them that get out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's totally different when they're caught on a state level too. There's a guy here, I believe he's called Dateline. He was on To Catch a Predator twice.
Oh, okay. Huh. It's almost like they can't be fixed.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's crazy.
That reminds me, audience, after the phone call, we have a video to show you of the exact same thing we're talking about right now. But
this
for
call
right now,
was from
we
a
have...
federal prison.
Yeah, we have...
We got about 4.5 minutes, buddy.
It feels like it's going well. Like it doesn't feel like it's really short, so that's good.
Yeah. And I mean, I could always call back next week too.
Yeah, call back every week.
Or am I getting ahead of myself now? I know I've been replaced.
Oh yeah, you can't hear Stover though because I have him in my headphone now. I finally figured out how to do that, and so it wouldn't work.
Nice.
I'm monitoring the YouTube and the Rumble chats for questions.
Is there any?
I'm waiting for a good one.
Is there any questions yet, Stover, or no?
Not any that I think are worthwhile, but a lot of people are telling him that, Dick, they miss you.
A lot of people saying that they miss you. I miss you. A lot of
miss you
love
all.
being sent your way.
I miss you all. I love you all. And
that reminds me. Craig sends his love too, by the way.
Oh, excellent. Yes. Yes, I would. Yeah, Craig sends his love. By the way, Craig sends his love.
Yeah, great guy. Great guy, Craig.
Great guy. Great guy. Hey, by the way, anyone listening, my birthday's coming up, and, you know, it'd be nice to have a little something on the books for some MP3s.
A little something on the books. We'll put that charity up after this as well and go through that.
Squeeze up these books if you don't mind, guys, please.
Yeah, pick up some books. Guy needs some reading material.
Hey, I'm a political hero here, all right? I'm like freaking G.I. Joe. I stood up for your country. I stopped the steal for 2 hours, all right? How about,
You did. You're an American hero. Stover does have a question from the comments. Go ahead, Stover.
Yeah, I was just going to say real quick, I've been putting a lot of time into writing. So much time that I've actually lowered the amount of ink in a pen. Normally I lose a pen before you even see any ink go down. I'm halfway through a pen.
Yeah, I've never done that. In fact, I've only gone through two tubes of chapstick in my entire life. What's the question you got, Sto?
Ghost Volta wants to... He's concerned. He just wants to know, has Dick been raped?
I'm not going to ask him that. I'm not going to ask that. That's a rude question.
Okay.
It's some sort of stupid, like, soap on a rope thing, or...
Yep, nailed it. Originality.
Yeah, hey, guess what, guys? Nobody likes that shit in here. In fact...
Especially the people getting it.
Good.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen here.
Yeah, it's not a California state penitentiary for hardened criminals serving life.
Right.
That's not what it is.
Right. No. There's plenty of mo's in here that'll give it up, so there's no need for the other way.
Right. You know, I'm thinking too, though, like maybe we should be like, actually, yeah, that type of stuff is terrible in there. And although you haven't been a victim yet, it's just constant being on guard and you know, it's just real terrible. And then maybe people would donate more money so you'd be more comfortable. So we should rethink that strategy. We'll talk about it at a different time, though.
We'll talk. Oh, I'm at the 1 minute mark or the 30-second mark. Anyway, love y'all. Can't wait to be out. And I don't know. I'll call back next week or something. I don't know. Who fucking knows?
Okay, we'll be here next week. We can make this a Sunday thing.
You're going to be there next week?
Every Sunday at 7, unless I get really drunk.
7.
Before 7? What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, at 7. Sunday at 7.
Unless you're really drunk.
Sometimes I'm depressed and I day drink.
Jesus Christ. Fucking pick up a hobby. Anyways.
I do. It's heroin.
Call you next week. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Sounded like he farted into the phone right at the end. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I heard that.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I hope he calls back next week and the week after that. It's great hearing from him.
Yeah, here's the thing. I just don't want people to get like used to it and then be like, he's fine. He's fine in there. Like, you know, although it was a little uncouth of the person asking the question, we probably should have been like, oh yeah, dude, rape is rampant in there. And there's rats and stuff everywhere and they don't give them blankets.
That's my fault. I asked it just like kind of like to have a chuckle. And I mean, I think that's you guys did kind of have some of that old banter for a moment. That it's not my decision to make. I just saw that and I go, I bet they'll have a laugh.
I just like how he knew exactly what the question was going to be. Like, let me guess. The originality of the commenters.
What's the most low-hanging fruit imaginable? Well done.
Like, what are some other cliche prison jokes? I think, like, that's the only one. It just has to do
something
with...
maybe about prison wine, maybe? Like toilet wine? Or
prison wine and grape. Gay rape. You know, rape is no laughing matter. And more... This is a true statistic. You can look this up. More men are raped in the United States than women year over year. And the reason for that is the prison system. So although we're like, oh, that's a cliche joke, and he's like, that doesn't happen in here. Apparently it happens somewhere, and it happens a lot. For there to be more men raped in the United States than women. Yeah, anyway, man, that was a good call, but I'm depressed.
Don't be. Gotta stay strong for the viewers.
I will.
But now we basically poured gasoline on that low-hanging fruit in the comments.
On the rape fire?
Now everyone's been, now everyone's talking about grape.
Yeah. Prison grape or grape. I had a video I wanted to watch. So what he was saying, if y'all didn't understand, which I think most of y'all would, when he was talking about there's a lot of people in there for guns. That's usually a federal crime. A lot of people in there for like interstate drug trafficking, federal crime, and a lot of people in there for something he can't really say because they might be around him right now. He was talking about pedophiles. Yeah, he was saying that they're fucking everywhere in there because this country has a problem. And speaking of this country's problem with pedos, I got a video today of another demonic child raping freak, like kind of laughing about trying to meet up with a 15-year-old girl to buy her groceries, but you know what the implication is the entire time. I didn't finish the video, but I do want to play it and have the audience watch and see, get some reactions for it. So let me go to this and please, please, please let the audio work. Here we go. Watch along with us, folks.
If you have a talk with us, I don't have to call the police, okay?
Well, it's also entrapment.
Okay, well then call the police. How old is this person you were talking to?
13.
Okay, so that's a minor in the state of Colorado.
Take her shopping.
You're gonna take her shopping?
Yeah.
No,
I never said anything else.
no saying about kissing, nothing like that?
Kissing, there's nothing wrong with that.
You're here to hurt our fucking children.
No, I'm not.
The fuck you're not.
No, I'm not. So I start off.
He looks convincing.
No, I'm not. I'm here to buy groceries.
As he reapplies more terrible lipstick, smears it on.
What does it say about a nation though, where your federal medical camps, which is still a prison, are filled with these people? Your streets are filled with these people, and you can catch them on the street, knowing that they're going to offend. You caught them trying to offend. You caught them literally trying to, at the least egregious scenario, molest a child, and at the most egregious scenario, kidnap, rape, murder. I almost said murder and kill. Kidnap, rape, and murder these child victims. And all you can do is just show them on camera. So hopefully they're shamed and people will be made aware of who they are, where they're from, and what they look like. Back to the video. Again, I didn't make it to the end. I saw when a cop walked up, but I didn't see what happened after that.
Fucking 61 years old. Look, I'm against the fucking wall.
No, you're not. You got 2 feet behind you.
You're about to get the hot sauce, buddy.
You better back up.
Go into the bathroom and take pics of yourself undressing for me.
Oh, well.
Child.
Oh, well?
Oh, you see that?
13-year-old child, that's a 7th grader.
Because I haven't done anything.
So then you probably want to...
God dang it, sir.
You see where he goes, nah, yeah, I did do that. What the fuck are you going to do? They know that there's nothing these people can do.
I think they call that duping delight. Like when someone's sociopathic and you basically just, they're proud of it secretly. They just hide it because they know.
They know societally. Yeah,
they don't have true empathy.
They just know it's unacceptable. So they're like,
so they're good at masking it. They're like, oh yeah, that's bad, and then they're like, yeah, I was doing that.
Yeah,
that's the demon coming out. That is fucked.
That's the demon.
I've seen that one, and it's funny. I go, well, it's. I've seen this one, but I thought it came up in the feed today when I was on Twitter, and I almost put it in the bangers, and you had it. I was like, how in sync are we?
Yeah, I got that, and I was like, I kind of want to play this because it just shows the. It shows the disgustingness of the people themselves, but it also shows the disgustingness of modern American society, where it's acceptable enough to where, and I got to be careful about what I say right now, although I shouldn't have to be, but I will be because I do have to be. When you see this demon walking around, you go, that's classically a very mentally disturbed person who is probably
with tattoos.
Yeah, when people are disturbed on this level, they're usually not. They usually tend to victimize people. You know, and I'll be the one to get in trouble for saying that, but it's true. These people are so fucked up in the head that this is normalized in their minds, but to everybody else in rational society that used to exist, that 50% doesn't exist anymore in the minds of Americans. It's like 50% are like, oh, you know, these people they're a little different, but you know, they're trans and we got to be accepting. Okay, but just know most of it, there's a little bit more than just, I feel like putting on a dress. I feel like dressing like a woman and luring a 15-year-old to go shopping and probably hope to rape her. Even though I'm a woman, I don't think he's going to be trying to scissor rape her, if you know what I'm saying.
I think that I think that's a part of the plan. Like, he's actually seeing it's very detrimental. Like, he's seen the special privilege points that these people who dress like the opposite sex get, and he thinks, okay, well, it's like a fail-safe. If I do get caught for this horrendous crime that like is probably one of the worst, if I'm pretending to be one of these special, you know, people, then I will be protected and
correct.
It will be more normalized.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. It's almost like a criminal rapist molester subterfuge where like, and the reason they do it is because they're right. That the view of them has been softened in society, you know, but you got to keep in mind too, like the reason there's always been a social stigma of people like this isn't because we're freaked out by people wearing dresses. It's usually because there's something else that comes along with that with a lot of these people. Like, again,
Bingo.
An incredibly high percentage that we're just going to ignore and be like, love is love and trans is trans and your penis is a vagina and it's all good.
Hey, I actually have a question. What do you think on this? Do you think the To Catch a Pedophile? Remember Chris Hansen?
Yeah.
Like,
you're here to have sex.
Do you think Actually, damn, you do a good job there. Was that a good thing or a bad thing? Did Chris Hansen in his, you know, endeavors for fame actually help to normalize this shit?
I don't think it helped to No. I don't think what he did was a bad thing. And now I haven't heard there's probably counter arguments to that. I mean, obviously there's the legal pitfalls of loopholes and stuff and entrapment and whatnot. But I think more than anything, it helps to shine a light that, and I think more and more people are waking up to this every single day. It helps to shine a light that these people are everywhere and you have to be constantly vigilant. I think everybody I know has known, when they were growing up, has known somebody that was molested. And I think that those numbers, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I believe those numbers are ever increasing. And you're also seeing a push for the normalization of pedophilia via social media and groups like people that are known as MAPS, which means minor attracted people, which is a soft linguistic way of saying child rapist. And it's just been softened over and over and over again. And the reason they're doing that is because, in my opinion, it's an eventual play to legalize the, for lack of a better term, the acceptance of sex with children. You can't convince me otherwise that there's not a push for that.
Well, what better way to destabilize? Like, maybe this was you. I think this was you in one of our private conversations, and you made a great point here. You said, if they got to start young, right? Because like you could tell a kid that Santa Claus exists, but once they have those good morals that they form in childhood, it's pretty hard to subvert them in adulthood.
Right, yes. Right. Yeah. So
they need to start young.
Yeah, there's two things going on here. These type of people, if you were to believe their sexual orientations, are incapable of procreation. Now, this is a dangerous theory, but I think the results bear out. They're incapable of procreation because it's men that have sex with men, which I believe, and again, I don't think I'm wrong. It's hard to find this statistic, but I believe it's true. Gay men are overwhelmingly responsible for the majority of making up the majority of child molesters.
Yes.
And I believe also, now I've never actually seen a statistic on this, it's very anecdotal, but people who are molested as children tend to be more likely to be bisexual and homosexual, and unfortunately, also pedophiles when they get older, because their brain chemistry and structuring has been fucked with when they were kids. So in other words,
it's also, I think it's kind of like the porn thing too. Like when people start, like, it's like you're when you're over sexualized as a child and you start that early, you kind of get into this kink stuff, and then you're going up and up and up, and then what's the ultimate taboo?
Where do you top out at? And it's like child sex and murder, and that's why there's so many of these, like uber rich people that pay the Jeffrey Epsteins of the world to have sex with child slaves and whatnot. It's because they've had everything they've wanted for so long that their pleasure centers in their brain slowly get burnt out, and they need the next level and the next level and the next level. Well, now you're pushing those levels to children through pornography at younger and younger ages. Dick and I have talked on Thunderdome TV before. If you were to go to the Coors Light beer website, if you go to the Marlboro or Camel cigarette website, you have to verify your age before you can enter. When's the last time anybody watching has been asked if they're 18 before they're allowed to click on a porn website and watch hardcore pornography? That doesn't exist anymore. There's no more age verification. If anything, there's just a... And even then,
it's just a yes or no.
It's just yes or no. It's not a proof thing. Yeah. So, I used to kind of argue for the slippery slope, or against that slippery slope where it's like, well, if they're going to censor this, what are they going to censor next? And I'm like, no, censor the pornography. Get rid of the pornography, because
100%.
They've pushed it to children on purpose. That's what they're doing.
How many of the porn stars?
Well, it's like Kanye. It's like Kanye West said: when you watch porn, you are contributing to the act of pedophilia, which sounded strange to people. But when he explained it, what he said was, every woman you see in these videos was a victim of child molestation or child rape. And I bet statistically that statement is very accurate. There always tends to be that correlation. So now these people are being used to hypersexualize the next generation, and you think that that's going to slow pedophilia, or do you think that's going to increase conversations about the positivity of it as the future goes on and on and on? And more children have been exposed to this at a younger and younger age. So now they believe that's the norm and that is just fine. It's a slow, forgive me for being cliche, it's a very slow Marxist strategy for the destruction of Western, if you will, or capitalist societies. And it's working. And I can prove it right now. Watch me prove it real quick. I know you think I'm crazy, but check this out. Hey, yeah, look, we can't do anything about this anymore. Yeah, you could just show them on video. That's it. Here we go.
You want us to call the police, correct?
No, I see why you're doing it, and I'm sorry I did this. I'm not going to do it again. It's just I'm a very lovely person.
You're trying to meet with a 13-year-old to have sex, so there you go.
Let's go in. Ma'am, take a seat for me.
If you have a talk with us, I don't have to call the police.
That was it. I don't know if there's a follow-up video, but I'm going to guess that person wasn't arrested despite the evidence. And that moves me to the next thing I always talk about. After you witness these situations, you go, the law is more likely to protect the rapist, pedophile, and address now, currently in modern times, than the people that tried to stop that person. The people that tried to stop that person are probably guilty of stalking and harassment and libel or whatever. There's probably so many more laws that those people can be charged with and enforced against them than there can be of this person who came to meet a 15-year-old girl to go shopping with. Although when really pushed on it, they laughed he in a dress and a wig laughed like, haha, yeah, you caught me, so what? And that's where we're at in this country. And Dick DeCarlo and Nicholas Oakes are in prison for 4 years for taking pictures inside of the Capitol building as media personnel. And that's where our country is, and that's where it stands, and that's why it's over, folks, and it's not going to turn around. Good luck. Get out of the cities while you can. Get those chickens and learn how to grow some tomatoes and shit, because these people are the ones that will eventually win. You see that they're winning. And there won't be any violent uprising, insurrection, or any people that are actually stopping this, because your government's in favor of it, because they lock the people up for peaceful protesting that are tired of seeing this type of shit every single day. Meanwhile, it's forced upon everybody in this society by the government, and I would argue about 50% or more of the population now. So there's no winning it. It's over. Forget it. Move out of the cities. Form your little local communities and go Amish. That's the best way to put it. Just go Amish. I don't know what else to tell you. You're not winning. Stover, did you have one last thing to pull up? I saw you were looking at something on your screen there.
Yeah, I was getting it up in the row for the next topic. This is kind of we've touched on this in the past. There's an update this last week. Jim Jordan here says they just subpoenaed Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, and Apple regarding big tech's reported collusion with federal government. Still no arrests of the FBI or anything, but a update nonetheless. Well,
I'd like to say it's not reported collusion. It's pretty well documented fucking collusion. If you have eyes, you see that it was real and that it happened. If you're watching the show, you could probably witness that you were a victim of that collusion, because I'm pretty sure every single person I know has been banned and silenced. Meanwhile, they've never banned and silenced the mutilation of children's genitals by the medical community, the MAP community, the pedophile community, the child rapist community, the Democrat liberal community. Like, they're all on board with the same agenda of mutilating your children and destroying your society. But luckily, everybody, Jim Jordan's going to scold these folks in front of Congress, and that's going to make a difference. Just as soon as that happens, it's going to turn right around. I guess kudos and props to Jim Jordan for pointing that out. The thing that we all already knew, and you're the government. Maybe you should have done something about it, but you can't, because they finance your campaigns. Both sides, Republican and Democrat. You're only there because the technocracy and the oligarchy want you there. So you're not going to do anything. And I think Americans are growing more and more aware that y'all are full of shit with these dog and pony shows.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's it. I'm good. We did a 40-minute show on Sunday. Stover, any final comments from the comment sections, or any final words, stories, anything?
I'll see you guys on the next one.
See you on the next one. All right. So we talked to Nicholas DeCarlo, federal inmate from the January 6th political persecution fallout. And us, Murder the Media, Explore TV, had 2 reporters in at the Capitol on January 6th who were covering the event. They're now serving 4 years in prison each. That's Nicholas Oakes and Nicholas DeCarlo. We're going to put their info up on the screen. Let me pause that. I don't let that play long enough, but if y'all could screen cap that if you want, and maybe share it with your friends and help our people out. These are your people. Help all of our people out if you can. If you can't, send prayers. Send letters. Those are much cheaper than money. But the way this federal prison system works is they kind of need money while they're in there. So there's their Give, Send, Go. I'm going to hit the outro. Everybody have a wonderful Sunday night. Thanks for tuning in. While I'm thinking about it, smash that like and subscribe button, everybody. Smash that like and subscribe button. And we will see you back on the Bill Normally Show Wednesdays at 7, Fridays at 7, and Sundays at 7. Good night, everybody. Goodbye. Good night.